Welcome to the Deep Dive. I am really glad you're joining us today because we are tackling a massive high-stakes project,
Yeah, a big one.
right? One that pretty much every homeowner is going to face at some point.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that usually just sits in the back of your mind until you start seeing a suspicious water stain spreading across your ceiling.
Exactly.
We are, of course, talking about getting a new roof.
It is a major homeowner milestone. Honestly, it's a huge financial investment, and it is incredibly disruptive to your daily life for the days or, weeks it takes to complete.
Oh, yeah?
And frankly, it can be really intimidating to navigate if you don't know the industry inside and out. I mean, you are trusting a crew of people to literally rip the top off your house.
And just hope they put it back together, right? Exactly. And the goal for this deep dive is to take you from feeling like you're just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best to operating as a fully empowered consumer.
Yes.
So we are pulling our insights today from a really comprehensive guide put together by French Roofing.
They're a contracting company out of Damascus, Oregon, right?
Yep, Damascus, Oregon. They put together a list of 10 essential questions you need to ask a roofing contractor before you sign any estimates or, hand over a single dime.
And what really stands out when you review their framework is that this isn't just a simple checklist about shingles and nails.
Yeah.
It is effectively a masterclass in risk management.
Oh, for sure.
It teaches you how to thoroughly vet professionals and ultimately how to build a protective wall around what is likely your largest financial asset.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's get right into it, starting with the absolute baseline protections. The legalities.
And non-negotiables.
Right. The very first thing to establish, which seems obvious but gets skipped surprisingly often, is simply, are you licensed and insured?
It is the ultimate non-negotiable. And it really all comes down to liability.
Right.
Think about the physical reality of a roofing project. You have a crew of people walking around on a steep slope, 2 or 3 stories in the air.
Carrying heavy stuff.
Exactly. They are carrying heavy bundles of material, swinging hammers, using heavy-duty power tools. It is inherently dangerous work.
Yeah?
If your contractor isn't carrying the proper insurance and something goes wrong, the finance burden doesn't just evaporate.
Wait, so if a worker slips and falls off my roof and the contractor happens to be uninsured, my standard homeowner's insurance policy doesn't automatically take care of it.
No.
I'm assuming a lot of people think their own property insurance is the safety net there.
That is a very dangerous assumption to make. In many cases, if you hire an unlicensed or uninsured contractor, your homeowner's insurance can actually deny the claim outright.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that means you, the homeowner, are personally liable.
Personally liable.
If that injured worker has medical bills, or they lose wages because they can't work for 6 months, they can and often will sue you directly. They can come after your personal assets, including the equity in your home.
That is terrifying. It really puts it into perspective. Hiring someone under the table to save a few $1,000s on the labor could end up costing you your entire house in a lawsuit.
Precisely. Asking for proof of insurance and a valid license isn't just a bureaucratic formality. It is a critical shield to protect you from potentially devastating legal action.
So don't take their word for it.
Never take their word for it. Always ask to see the physical certificates.
Okay, so we've established they need to be operating legally. The next layer to this is their specific expertise.
Yes, question 2.
And I want to emphasize the word specific here. It's the difference between a generalist and a specialist. You wouldn't hire a Michelin star sushi chef to bake your wedding cake, right?
Right.
They might both be absolute geniuses in the kitchen, but the skill sets do not translate.
That's a great way to frame it. General roofing experience is good, but it is not enough. A contractor might be absolutely fantastic at installing composition roofs.
Right. And just to clarify, for anyone who hasn't spent hours staring at roofing catalogs, composition roofs are your standard asphalt shingles.
Yeah, the ones you see on the vast majority of houses.
Exactly.
A contractor might do those all day, every day, with a flawless track record.
But if your house has a tile roof or a metal roof or slate,
That's a completely different ballgame.
completely different.
The underlying structures required, the weight distribution, the specific fastening methods, it all changes drastically based on the material.
Because tile is heavy.
Tile is incredibly heavy.
Right.
If a crew treats a tile installation the same way they treat a standard asphalt installation, your roof could literally cave in.
Oh my God.
You have to make sure the contractor knows exactly what they are installing on your specific roof. You do not want your home to be the practice run for a crew trying out a new material for the first time.
Nobody wants to be the guinea pig for a $20,000 project.
Definitely not.
So we know they are legal, and we know they have the right specific experience. Let's pivot and talk about the actual materials they are going to be nailing to your house, because this brings up a massive pitfall that I think catches a lot of homeowners completely off guard.
Yes, the concept of the roof as an engineered system.
An engineered system.
We often look at a roof and just see the shingles on top. We assume it's just a pile of material slapped onto some wood. But modern roofs are integrated systems designed to work together to shed water and manage ventilation.
And that leads to the big warning here, which is the danger of mixing and matching products.
Oh, this is a big one.
I can easily see how this happens too. A contractor comes to you and says, hey, I found a great deal on underlayment from brand A, and I've got some surplus shingles from brand B. I could knock $1,000 off the estimate if we use these.
Sounds great.
It sounds like a total win.
It sounds like a win until you actually need to use your warranty. And just to define terms here, the underlayment is that waterproof barrier they roll out over the bare wood of your roof before the shingles even go on.
Okay.
It's a crucial layer of protection. If a contractor mixes and matches different brands, say, putting brand A shingles over brand B underlayment, it will almost certainly void your manufacturer warranties.
Let's walk through what that actually looks like in practice. Say I'm 5 years down the road, and I start seeing water spots on my ceiling.
Okay.
I call the shingle manufacturer because I'm supposed to have a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
What happens?
The manufacturer will send an inspector out to your house. They will pull up a few shingles, look at the layers beneath, and realize you used a competitor's underlayment. They will immediately deny the claim.
Just like that.
Just like that. They will argue that their shingles failed because the incompatible underlayment trapped moisture, or didn't breathe correctly, or reacted chemically with the shingles.
Even if that's not true.
Whether that's scientifically true or not in your specific case doesn't matter. The contract stipulates the system must be unified. By trying to save a few bucks up front on mismatched materials, you completely blow up your safety net.
That is such a huge trap for budget-conscious homeowners.
Yeah.
You really have to insist that they use a unified system from a single manufacturer.
Always.
And since we are deep in the weeds on warranties here, let's unpack that further. Because warranty is a word that gets thrown around a lot in sales pitches, but it actually means a few very different things in the roofing world.
It really does. There are two distinct types of warranties you have to secure, and you need to understand the difference between them.
Right.
The first is the workmanship warranty.
So if I were to use a car analogy, the workmanship warranty is like the guarantee your local mechanic gives you on their labor.
Perfect analogy.
It covers the actual physical installation, the human element of putting the roof on your house.
Exactly. The workmanship warranty covers anything that goes wrong with how the materials were installed. Most contractors are going to offer a 1 to 2 year workmanship warranty. So if they missed a nail, or if they didn't seal the flashing correctly.
And for those unfamiliar, flashing refers to those metal pieces installed around chimneys, skylights, and in the valleys of the roof to direct water away from seams.
Right, the vulnerable spots. If they mess that up and it leaks 8 months later, that workmanship warranty means it is on the contractor to come back and fix it on their dime.
Got it. So workmanship is the labor. And the second type is the manufacturer warranty, which covers the physical products themselves.
Right. This is the product warranty. It covers the shingles, the underlayment, the ventilation components. This is typically the warranty that lasts for the life of the roof, or 25 to 50 years, depending on the material.
Wow.
If the shingles prematurely degrade, curl up, or lose their granules due to a manufacturing defect 10 years down the line, this is the warranty that kicks in.
Okay, so workmanship covers the labor for the first year or two.
Yeah.
And the manufacturer covers the product for decades.
Correct.
But here is where it gets incredibly interesting. This was the biggest aha moment for me when reviewing this material.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
There's a way to bridge those two warranties, and it all comes down to asking the contractor if they have product certifications.
This is the absolute secret weapon of the savvy homeowner. When a contractor takes the time to get certified directly through a specific manufacturer, it creates a massive shift in how your warranties work.
Because let's be real about the contracting business. It is volatile.
Very.
You might hire a fantastic local roofing company today. They do a great job. They give you that 2-year workmanship warranty. But what happens if, 18 months from now, the owner retires? or the economy shifts, and that local company goes completely out of business.
They just shut their doors.
Yeah, they shut their doors permanently. Under normal circumstances, that workmanship warranty is now just a worthless piece of paper.
That's the terrifying reality for a lot of homeowners. But if that contractor was certified by the manufacturer to install their specific products, the manufacturer will actually step in and back up the contractor's workmanship warranty.
That is huge. Because these manufacturers are often massive multinational corporations that have been around for a century.
Exactly. You are insulating yourself against the volatility of the local small business market by anchoring your protection to a giant established institution.
That makes so much sense.
Even if your local guy from down the street closes up shop tomorrow, your warranty retains its value because that 100-year-old company is standing behind the labor.
But you have to ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get that gold tier protection, you have to ask the contractor up front if they hold those specific product certifications.
It's a simple question that carries literal decades of financial implications.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shift gears from the paperwork and the warranties to the actual physical reality of living through a roof replacement.
The fun part.
Right, because it's not just about the final product, it's about your sanity, and it's about protecting the rest of your property while the work is happening.
This is a vital phase of vetting because the reality of a roof installation is chaotic.
It really is.
You have to visualize tons, and I mean literal tons, of old roofing material, rotted wood, and rusty nails being violently ripped off your house and dropped from a significant height.
It is not a delicate operation at all. I actually had a neighbor a few years ago who had a roof replaced. The contractor brought in one of those massive, heavy steel roll-off dumpsters to haul away the debris.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they just dropped it directly onto my neighbor's concrete driveway without any plywood or protection underneath.
I can guess how this ends.
The sheer weight of the dumpster, plus tons of old shingles, left a massive spiderweb crack right down the middle of the driveway. And of course, the contractor fought them tooth and nail about paying for it.
That is a classic nightmare scenario. And it's exactly why you need to ask the contractor upfront exactly what steps they are going to take to ensure your home doesn't look like a war zone when they leave.
You have to ask.
You need to ask how they will protect the driveway from the dumpsters. You need to ask how they are going to ensure your siding isn't scratched up by falling debris, and how they will protect your landscaping so your bushes and flower beds aren't crushed.
And a good contractor won't even blink at those questions, right?
Not at all. They will have specific protocols ready. Laying down thick plywood, erecting netting to catch stray shingles, running magnetic sweepers over your lawn every single afternoon to pick up stray nails.
You just have to make sure they actually have those protocols established before the chaos begins.
And managing that chaos ties directly into how they handle communication and project timelines.
Because delays happen.
Construction projects have delays. That is a universal truth. Weather happens, material shipments get delayed, crews get sick.
Right. What matters isn't necessarily that a delay occurs, but the mechanism the contractor has for handling it with you.
Yes.
You want to pick a contractor that has an established system of communication. And honestly, the specific method doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
Whether it's a daily email update, a text thread with a project manager, or a quick phone call every morning at 8 a.m., there just needs to be a predictable system so you aren't left staring at a half-finished roof with rain in the forecast, wondering if anyone is going to show up today.
Which brings up the next crucial logistical point, and that is supervision. You need to ask exactly who will be supervising the project on site and how you can reach them.
Because there's nothing worse than looking out your window, seeing something that looks wrong. Maybe they're installing a different color shingle than you ordered.
That happens.
And having to walk outside and try to shout over a buzzsaw to get the attention of a random worker who might not even speak the same language as you, just to figure out what's going on.
It's incredibly awkward and completely inefficient.
Yeah.
You should not be wandering around an active, dangerous job site trying to get answers from whichever worker happens to be closest.
No.
You must establish a single point of contact. You need one dedicated person, usually a foreman or a project manager, who is supervising the site and has the actual authority and answers for you when you have concerns.
It just lowers the temperature on the entire project.
Yeah.
You have your person. You call your person. Problem solved.
Exactly.
All right, we are rounding the corner into the final phase of vetting. We've covered the legalities, the complex warranties, and the on-site management. Now it's time to make the final decision and talk about the money.
The most important part. When it comes to making that final call, references are key. But there is a profound difference between quickly glancing at online reviews and actually verifying a contractor's track record for a project of this magnitude.
Right. We all check star ratings on Yelp or Google, but a roof is a $20,000 or $30,000 investment. 5 stars from an anonymous account named user123 isn't going to cut it.
Exactly. You need to ask the contractor for a list of previous clients they have actually worked with in your area. And then you need to actually pick up the phone and call them.
Have a real conversation.
You want to have a 5-minute conversation with a real homeowner. You can ask them the nuanced questions that don't make it into online reviews. Did the crew clean up the nails? Did they finish on budget? How did the contractor handle it when they pulled up the old shingles and found rotted plywood underneath?
That's the real intel. You want to hear the tone of their voice when they talk about the contractor?
Yeah.
If they sound exhausted just remembering the project, that's a red flag.
Oh, absolutely.
If they're enthusiastic, you've probably found a winner. And that brings us to the final, most sensitive question. What is the payment schedule, and do they require a deposit? Money is where things can get really tense, really fast.
The goal here is 0 surprises when the final invoice arrives. You need everything in writing. But more importantly, this question serves as your final filter for massive red flags.
What should we be looking out for?
You need to be incredibly wary of a contractor who demands a large upfront percentage of the total cost before any materials have even been delivered to your house.
Like, a small deposit to secure a spot on the schedule is one thing, but if they are asking for 50% up front...
That often means they have cash flow problems.
What?
They are using your deposit to pay for the materials on the job they are currently finishing across town. It's a Ponzi scheme of roofing materials.
A Ponzi scheme of roofing materials.
Yeah.
That is a very real danger in this industry.
It is. And there is another major red flag to watch out for. Be extremely wary if the contractor is pushing for a cash price only.
Oh, the old I can save you 15% if we keep this off the books routine. I know it's tempting for homeowners who are looking at a massive bill, but cash price only screams that something shady is happening.
It really does.
Which circles us right back to our very first point about liability and legality. If a contractor is intentionally keeping things off the books to avoid taxes, what else are they avoiding?
Exactly. You can bet they aren't carrying the right liability insurance, and they certainly aren't pulling the required municipal permits for the job.
Right.
Paying in cash means there is no paper trail. If they do a terrible job and disappear, or if someone gets hurt, you have 0 proof that a professional transaction ever took place.
You're completely exposed.
It unravels all the protections, the warranties, and the legal shields we just spent this entire deep dive building up.
It is just never worth the risk. If we pull all of this together, looking at the entire framework these 10 questions provide, it becomes really clear what we are actually doing here.
Yeah.
We aren't just vetting someone's physical ability to nail a shingle to a piece of wood. We are conducting a multi-layered interview for communication skills, business stability, and fundamental integrity.
That is the perfect synthesis. This is an interview process for a major partnership.
And having this framework, knowing to demand a unified material system, understanding the massive difference between a workmanship warranty and a manufacturer warranty, setting up that single point of contact, and recognizing the red flags around payment, it completely changes the dynamic.
Completely.
You are taking total control of the process, and by doing so, you are ensuring genuine peace of mind for the literal roof over your head.
It empowers you as a homeowner. But, looking at all this through a broader lens, specifically regarding those manufacturer warranties, it leaves me with an interesting question to ponder.
Okay, what's that?
We talked heavily about the ultimate safety net being that century-old massive manufacturer backing up the local contractor. It makes perfect sense for traditional materials like asphalt.
Sure.
But as we move into an era of brand new, cutting-edge, sustainable roofing technologies, think integrated solar shingles or advanced eco-materials that haven't even been on the market for a decade, how do we evaluate those warranties? If the tech company manufacturing your futuristic solar roof has only existed for 5 years, who really backs them up if the system fails 20 years from now?
Oh, wow. That is a brilliant point to leave off on. The technology is advancing faster than those traditional 100-year safety nets can keep up with.
It really is.
It is definitely something to chew on if you're looking at the really high-tech, sustainable options for your next roof. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you feel ready to take the reins on your next big home project. We will catch you on the next deep dive.